It's not about the value of your soul. It's about the value of you in the marketplace. There's always two pains in life, it's the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. It's not what happened that determines the quality or the quantity of your life. The reason is because what happens to about everybody, no different. The sun went down on all of us last night, a common event. I found out that the same things can happen to two different people. One gets rich and one stays poor, one becomes successful and the other end up being a failure. Why is that? It's because it's not what happens, but rather it's what you do that changes everything. What's an area in your life right now that you really want to improve? Is it your body? Is it your relationship? Is it your career? Or finances? Figure one area that really matters. I say to people, you got to participate in your own rescue. You've got to retool yourself. Lasting change is different than a goal. You don't always get your goals, but you always get your standards. Everybody in life gets their musts. They don't get their shoulds. Most people have a list of should. They have a list of the should things like I should do, I should follow through on it, I should lose some weight, I should work out more, I should make more calls, I should respond more rapidly to my email, I should get in the office earlier, I should be more confident. Whatever your should list is, people love to have a should list. It's kind of like New Year's resolutions. If it does, it's really exciting, but if it doesn't, which is most the time, it's a little disappointing, but you kind of know it's not gonna happen. But when you decide something is a must for you, an absolute must, you say, I'm going to find a way or make the way. Human beings, when they resolve things and can make a real resolution inside themselves, which is when they raise their standards and make it a must, they find the way. Everything in life is always changing. We won't work on change. Change is automatic, but progress is not. So if you want to make real progress, then you really got to look at your life in a different way. You should say to yourself, I got to take control of this process and not just hope it's gonna work out like most people do. When you're in an aeroplane, what's the first thing they say? If we get into trouble, mask will come down, oxygen's there. Will they say, the first thing you gotta do is put it on your kid? No, who do they tell you to put it on? Yourself. Why? Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of others. So for all the leaders, I would always tell, it starts with you, and it starts with your psychology. If you look at what the chokehold is on any business, it's always the leader and 80% of that chokehold is the psychology and 20% is the mechanics. Most people know the mechanics and strategies beyond what anybody else does in their category. So it's really about you being in the state where you execute. Most people believe that knowledge is power. But in my opinion, it is wrong. Mere knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Execution trumps knowledge. Execution comes from learning to put yourself in that right state every day. Most people don't get started. The difference between people who don't start and people who follow through is they are more afraid of what life would be like if we don't follow through. Then the person is going to settle for what they got and kind of hope it'll change and maybe purchase something for the moment and then not follow through with it. People who are overachievers have a little more fear of missing out. They are afraid of not being there, or they got a strong enough reason to fall through. Once you break through, then it just becomes a game. The people are getting your products have not yet broken through, in most cases. The breakthrough happens by conditioning your mind every day, by feeding it a role model, a story. It's putting yourself in a peak state when you fell through by getting physically stronger. It's creating a little ritual of doing a little bit each day, and then you get momentum. But the most important thing of all is what we start out with. And that is, why? Why is it a must for you? It doesn't have to be you're against a wall. But it has to be something you're hungry for. If you're not hungry enough, get around people that are hungry and something will hit you. Most people can change their standard by getting associated with better, or they do because they're excited or because of something they really want to take on. Everyone's different. But they got to find out why, and they got to come up with some daily rituals to get them going, and just one step at a time. That's where you get momentum. People will succeed when they have opportunities that they trust. When they trust that life isn't happening to me, but life is happening for me. Even this pain or challenge or this opportunity is something for you to find a way to make use of. You need to make a decision and you need to do something right now to move things forward in the direction of what you really want in your life. Even if you don't know the final destination, you need to move in that direction and you need to take some form of action. Most people have all these visions. Maybe they start to make a little sort of decision, but they don't make a real decision because they don't act on it. If you are not going to act on your ideas, your dreams, they will die in your mind. Think about most people in North America, around the world, are they truly fit, strong and healthy? Do they truly have a relationship that's totally passionate? Do they love their work? Are they economically free? The vast majority of the people say the answer is no. If you want to be like most people, then what you got to do is to figure out how to survive. But if you want to lead, you got to thrive. And you have that capability. Find a way to thrive on the very things that stop other people in the tracks. Thrive on what produces fear inside you and other people. Thrive on something that you envision, that you have a higher purpose for. Thrive by being decisive. Thrive by taking massive action. If your trials and massive action doesn't work, just simply try something else. And if that doesn't work, try something else. Try until you find what works. Once you find what works, you can speed that up by modeling. By finding somebody who's already getting the results that you want to get your life. For example, if you are trying to lose weight, try finding somebody who already has lost 30 pounds and kept it off. They aren't lucky. It probably took them 5 years. If you are looking to improve your finances, find somebody who started with nothing and now they are financially free and their family has an extraordinary quality of life. Why not figure out what they do? Find somebody who truly is happy, not because everything's going their way, but because they find deeper meaning and richness in everything around themselves, whether it be their children or nature or even problems. If you look at the biggest challenges in your life, if you brought certainty to it, if you vision beyond the problem, if you made some decision of what you're going to change, even if you don't know how, and if you took immediate action with enough intensity, massive action, you probably found the cure. You probably found a way to adapt and get where you want to be. That's what thriving is really all about. But the ultimate thriving is not just breaking through and making things happen. The ultimate thriving in your life is to remember the secret to living is giving. It's true. As corny as that sounds, it's to connect to something bigger than yourself and can be done so easily. It can be done right here at home. Instead of running past your kids, looking at your phone, stop and connect. Kiss your spouse in a way where those sparks happen like when you first met. Most of us are moving so fast trying to manage their lives that they are not thriving. Thriving comes with depth. You're not gonna find thriving in a friendship that happens in milliseconds online. Nothing wrong with it. It's great connection, but a depth of a real friendship is not your social media friends. It's not the same as being with somebody who actually have your full attention, not while you're monitoring what's going on your cell phone. Just the experience of being with somebody. But contributing your caring, contributing your interest, finding some way to give love, attention, care, joy or happiness to any human being. If you want to thrive, then you gotta remember life's not about me, it's about we. You already know what is in your soul.